Today we'll be taking a look at the Collector's Edition quarter-scale Pac-Man arcade cabinet from Numskull. A very special thank you to the fine folks over at Numskull for sending this out to me to take a look at in this video. As the name implies, this unit is a 1/4 scaled down version of the full-size original Pac-Man that dominated arcades for decades. This cabinet has some unique features that separate it from its full-size counterpart other than the sheer size. It has a 5-inch full-color TFT screen and a 4.3 aspect ratio that shows wonderful, bright, and detailed images during gameplay. A 3-watt built-in speaker sits nestled under the marquee of the cabinet, blasting down wondrous classic arcade game sounds as you play. There's also a handy volume control dial nestled in the back, allowing the player to control the noise level to their liking. This cabinet also has an LED backlit marquee adorning the top of the machine that really gives it that authentic arcade invitation to come play as the glowing graphic draws you in. The unit runs off a built-in lithium rechargeable battery that lasts about 4 hours when fully charged. You can run the machine off an included micro USB cable if you wish, or fully unplugged using the onboard battery. A rocker power switch is also located around back to turn the unit on and off. Numskull even went so far as to nail the details on the backside of this machine as well, featuring reverse air vents with wire mesh that would normally be on the full-size cabinets to allow the heat to dissipate from the rigors of the original arcade hardware whirring around inside the original cabinet. Although these vents only serve cosmetic purposes, the fact that Numskull cared enough to include a feature that most gamers never even saw originally just goes to show you just how much passion they truly put into making these quarter-scale arcades as authentic and real as possible. Speaking of authentic, I was delighted to see the materials used here are actual real wood and metal details. While the side art is not hand-painted like it was on the original cabinet, the vinyl graphic applied here does look really sharp, and it is a great-looking recreation of the original cabinet's artwork. As expected, the player utilizes a 4-way joystick with click feedback, and I was very pleased to feel that this is an actual true 4-way moving joystick with the diagonal angles being restricted. Now if you're wondering what the quarter scale translates to in actual measurements, here's a quick rundown. The cabinet is 16.9 inches tall, 6.2 inches wide, and 8.2 inches deep. And instead of weighing hundreds and hundreds of pounds, this delightful machine only weighs a few pounds and can easily be placed on a shelf or a desk space. Pads are situated on the bottom of the machine to prevent it from scratching or sliding around on smooth surfaces during storage or gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, this cabinet runs off the original Pac-Man arcade ROM. Numskull is using a custom bespoke emulator to run this game and give you that authentic arcade experience. Everything you would expect from your favorite arcade legend is here. You have 1 and 2 player options, classic gameplay, even the infamous level 256 glitch. Though I will happily admit, I'm not a skilled enough Pac-Man player to reach that far into the game to see for myself. To start, coins are added by pressing the quarter token buttons located on the front of the machine, and then you're ready to hit the start button to begin your pellet munching adventure. One thing I did notice was on this version of the game, you start out with 5 lives as opposed to the standard arcade experience of 3. There is, however, a free firmware update Numskull is providing in case you wish to have an even more arcade accurate experience with your new machine and have it use the 3 live version of the game instead. You can order your Pac-Man cabinet today by going to geekstore.com, and as always, product links will be in the video description box below for easy reference to you. And it doesn't stop there, because Numskull is also coming out with some other great quarter-scale arcades in 2019 and for 2020. Pre-orders are now open for the amazing-looking Galaga cabinet shipping in September of 2019, and Ms. Pac-Man and Galaxian cabinets are also available for pre-order to help round out the end of their 2019 releases. 2020 is also a great year for quarter arcades as well, because future titles like Dig Dug, Track and Field, and the iconic Space Invaders are all getting their own unique quarter-scale cabinet releases. Overall, I gotta say my impressions of the quarter-scale arcade Pac-Man cabinet from Numskull are extremely positive. I had a blast playing this, and I'm not the best Pac-Man arcade player, but I still had loads of fun playing this thing. And I'm a full-size adult, and as a side effect of that, I've got full-size adult hands, and at no point in time did I have any difficulty using the joystick. I was able to just kind of pinch it in between my index finger and my thumb, and the joystick actually felt great. I didn't think it was going to break off. It looks very small, but it's actually very well built, and it's not toyish that you're going to just suddenly break it off during gameplay. It felt solid, very responsive, and I had an absolute wonderful time playing this thing. If you're in the market for anything such as this, I highly recommend you pick up something like this because it is actually a two-form function type of thing. It serves as a functional piece of artwork, so it looks great sitting on a shelf and or your desk, and you're like, oh man, look at that, I've got a full-size arcade cabinet. But it also doubles because it actually is fully functional and you can actually play. So every time you're getting a nostalgic itch to go get some power pellets, you can go ahead and turn this bad boy on and get your fix. The fact that Numskull even cared enough to throw in some bonus features with the collector's edition, things like this commemorative metal coin and a certificate of authenticity, well, that goes a long way in my book because that's something that they could have easily scaled back on to save a few pennies, but they actually decided to go that extra mile and include that for collectors alike, so props to them for doing that. Thanks, guys. Simply put, this is an absolute must-have for any Pac-Man fan or hardcore gaming enthusiast.